The night of the autumn festival, when the palace guards were distracted by celebrations, Baiyu made her move. Dressed in midnight black silk that shimmered like a blade in moonlight, she slipped past 3 layers of security with the grace that had made her the most feared assassin in 5 provinces. Her dagger found Emperor Liang's throat exactly as planned until his hand snapped up, 2 fingers stopping the blade a hair's breadth from his skin. "I've been waiting for you, General Bai's daughter," he murmured, his breath warm against her cheek. The shock of recognition made her hesitate just long enough for the hidden guards to swarm in. As they dragged her away, she caught the Emperor studying her face with an expression that wasn't triumph, but something far more dangerous, curiosity. Instead of the execution grounds, Baiyu found herself confined to the Phoenix Tower, a luxurious prison reserved for honored hostages. Each night, Emperor Liang visited, sitting just beyond arm's reach as they engaged in a dangerous dance of words. He demanded information about the rebel factions. She countered with accusations about his tyranny. But during daylight hours, when she was allowed to walk the palace gardens under guard, Baiyu began noticing disturbing contradictions. The emperor who had supposedly slaughtered children quietly funded orphanages. The ruler who had burned libraries actually preserved rare manuscripts, including those her scholar father had cherished. One rainy evening, she found Liang himself in the archives, running fingers over a particular shelf with unmistakable grief. That night, for the first time, she asked rather than demanded, "Who were you before the crown?" Assigned as Liang's personal scribe, Baiyu gained unprecedented access to court intrigues. She documented how the emperor outmaneuvered greedy ministers, protected peasant farmers from excessive taxes, and secretly undermined the corrupt aristocracy. During the chrysanthemum banquet, when the Grand Chancellor presented a goblet of wine with 2 careful hands, Baiyu acted without thinking, accidentally bumping the table to spill the drink. The subsequent investigation revealed not just poison, but a plot involving 3 border generals. That night, a rebel messenger found Baiyu with a knife at her throat. "Traitor," he hissed. She let him escape with false information, but the incident left her shaken. Who was she betraying, her father's cause, or the man who was beginning to haunt her dreams? When Liang announced a hunting trip to the northern forests, Baiyu knew it was another game. The emperor deliberately made himself vulnerable, using her as bait to draw out conspirators. What neither anticipated was the sudden mountain storm that separated them from guards. Forced to share a hunter's hut, their carefully maintained roles collapsed along with their defenses. Liang tended Baiyu's arrow wound with surprising gentleness, his fingers lingering on her bare shoulder. She woke at dawn to find him practicing sword form shirtless in the rain, scars mapping a history of violence across his torso. Their return to court changed everything. The ministers whispered about the emperor's unusual leniency, while rebel spies reported Baiyu's dangerous proximity to power. That night, she found a single white peony on her pillow, the flower her father had loved. The midwinter rebellion erupted without warning. As fire spread through the palace, Baiyu fought her way to Liang's side through smoke and chaos. In the throne room, they stood back to back against traitorous guards, moving with lethal synchrony. When an arrow streaked toward Liang, Baiyu took it in her shoulder without hesitation. As she bled on the marble floor, the emperor cradled her with uncharacteristic desperation. In that vulnerable moment, he confessed the truth. He had deliberately spared her father's only child after the execution, leaving clues to lead her to him. "I needed someone who would look at me without seeing just the crown," he admitted, his voice raw. Outside, the rebel leader, her uncle, called for the emperor's head. Baiyu's choice between vengeance and the man who had become her unlikely sanctuary would define them both. Recovering from her wound in the secluded Moon Pavilion, Baiyu received a secret visit from her uncle, the rebel commander. He revealed devastating proof Liang had indeed ordered her father's death, but only after discovering the general plan to burn the capital with everyone in it. "Your emperor has been playing both sides," her uncle spat. That night, Baiyu confronted Liang with the documents. Instead of denying, he showed her his own records, letters pleading for her father's surrender, offers of exile rather than execution. Their emotional confrontation ended with Baiyu smashing the emperor's favorite jade teacup, the shards between them like their fractured trust. When she stormed out, neither noticed the Grand Chancellor observing from the shadows. Ordered to leave the capital for her safety, Baiyu instead infiltrated the rebel camp. Playing the disillusioned assassin, she learned of plans to attack orphanages as breeding grounds of imperial loyalty. Torn between identities, she secretly warned Liang while maintaining her rebel cover. Their midnight meeting in a ruined temple turned passionate, angry kisses against crumbling walls, desperate touches that spoke of impending loss. As dawn approached, Liang pressed his personal seal into her hand. "Whatever happens," he whispered, "this will protect you." She left with his taste on her lips and the sickening certainty they were both walking into traps. The Grand Chancellor made his move during the spring assembly, producing evidence that Baiyu had assassinated key ministers. With Liang seemingly betrayed, the court demanded her execution. What they didn't know was that Baiyu and Liang had anticipated this, using her rebel connections to plant false trails. As guards dragged her before the court, Liang played his part perfectly, coldly condemning her while secretly arranging her escape. That night, the palace burned again, but this time the flames revealed the Chancellor's treason. Baiyu reappeared in full battle regalia, fighting beside Liang's troops. When she took an arrow meant for the emperor, the court finally saw what Liang had known all along: that this assassin would die for him. Recovering in the imperial chambers, Baiyu awoke to find Liang had not left her side for days. The political solution he proposed shocked the court: a marriage alliance to unite the factions. What began as strategy transformed during their private negotiations. Kneeling beside her bed, Liang offered not just marriage but co-rule. "I need your fire to balance my ice." Their first official appearance together silenced critics: the way his hand lingered at the small of her back, how she instinctively adjusted his crown before the assembly. When rebel remnants attacked during their procession, they fought as one, their combined styles creating an unstoppable dance of death. Afterward, as servants cleaned the blood from her hands, Baiyu realized she no longer saw her father's killer when she looked at Liang, only the man who had given her a home in his fractured world. 5 years later, the empire flourished under their joint rule. Former rebels now served as border guards, orphanages doubled as schools, and the libraries housed works from all philosophies. On the anniversary of their coronation, Liang led Baiyu to a secluded garden where a white peony bloomed beside a simple stele bearing her father's name. "You never had to choose," he said, pressing her hand to his chest where his heartbeat echoed hers. "Love isn't the opposite of vengeance, it's what grows after." That night, as fireworks painted the sky, their young daughter practiced sword forms with her father's precision and her mother's grace, while the two rulers watched with identical proud smiles. The assassin had found her heart, the emperor had found his conscience, and together they had rewritten history not with blades, but with something far more enduring.